Hello and welcome to another edition of Ambient Talkie, a show where we dive into some weird and wacky equipment and wonderful, call it whatever you want, music. I'm Andy from Two Round Robins and I hope you're ready for some cool stuff. Today we're trying to be a bit more useful on this episode by modifying the look of the Cocoquantus by just a little bit. I am of course talking about the tuning marks. If you take a look from my previous videos, you might see that Cocoquantus has stickers on its speed knob, like you can see here. And these give a rough guide where to move it if I want my samples to be either an octave above or an octave below from the original sample. And since some people asked how exactly to do it, I of course obliged to this request, and here I am talking about my own method. Now, before we start with how to do this and everything, I would like to clarify two things. First one is obviously you can achieve a lot of this stuff by just using your ears. However, it might be quite useful to a lot of people that the positions of the octaves are marked, especially if you have a hasty live setting or you have loads of sound elements just running around. You might need something that's a bit more visual in order to tune those samples together in a far better way than by maybe at times just using your ears. The second thing that I would like to touch upon is that this is strictly my method. I haven't really looked around to see which method is better or how to do it properly or whatever. This is just something that I basically assume that everybody does it this way, but you know, I might be wrong. So you can of course leave a comment stating what I might be doing wrong or what I could be doing better, of course. So without further ado, let's get started. In order to pull this off, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need a Cocoquantus, obviously. You're gonna need a sound source, which you're gonna take from the sound source and you're gonna record it into the buffers. I'm using my trusty OP1 here, but you can use any sort of instrument that has a sustained note and that the tone of this note doesn't, you know, that its pitch doesn't floric around a bit too much when you're recording into the Coco. You're gonna need some low adhesive tape. And you're gonna need, of course, something to cut this tape. I'm using this pair of scissors here because I'm a big boy and I like to use these ones. And of course, last but not least, you're gonna need a tuner. Now, you might use, like I have a tuner script running here on Norse, but this proved not to be the most amazing thing. Of course, you can use any electronic script that you want, let's say like something like this, but you can of course use your plugin, default plugin tuner in your digital audio workstation. I am of course using Logic, so Logic's tuner is gonna be the one that's gonna help me a lot in this video. So here comes the method. First things first, I'm gonna take this little sticky paper here. I'm just gonna take one of this sticky note. You can of course use a masking tape or something that doesn't have a lot of adhesiveness to it, so you don't really damage the wood that much. Now this is quite alright. I might be using something better, but this is what I have handy at times and I like to use it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your big boy scissors, you're gonna cut a little triangle like this, or at least this is how I do it. You might do it differently, doesn't really matter. It basically matters that you put this there where you want your frequency bass or your bass note to be held. Now what I do is I move the speed knob of Cocoquantus to be somewhere in the middle position. Now you can do it here, of course, but I find it a bit better just by moving it to, let's say, 1 o'clock position. And I'm gonna put the first marking over here. And as you can see, this is gonna be my base position. I'm just gonna use a bit of this little pliers here, and I'm gonna put it just like so. So it's okay that the speed knob and the marking is visible from my own position. Now, going from the camera, it might be a bit different, but you know, if it works from my own position, since I'm gonna be using it like this, I assume that this is gonna be the best way for me to put it here. So I'm just gonna move this knob a bit here, and it's gonna be on the right side. So if I press a note, so this is just a note, we can hear this is a C, and the tuner there, it's saying that's a C, and I'm okay with it. Now, of course, use something that's rather clean, that doesn't have loads of effects or anything like that, something that's gonna be a bit constant, like a sine tone or a test tone or whatever. I'm just using something from the voltage synth engine that OP1 has, called W80s, and of course I kill the effect and kill the LFO right here. So now I have a clean constant tone. Now what I'm gonna do is, of course, I'm gonna record it into this buffer right here. So let me just, I think I fucked up something here, so let me just wait for this to get away. There we go. I think, okay, we don't have anything there, that's fine. Okay, but let's get back to the video. I need to record something here while my speed knob is on this position, and I'm just gonna press, there we go, and now we're recording. Recording. Be sure to use a lot of time with this, and let's hear if we have something. There we go. We can hear that C tone coming right through. I'm just going to use a patch cable or a banana cable in order for it to be heard here. And this in order to be heard from both buffers, just so we don't have that annoying stereo, either hard left or hard right thing. We have it here, it works fine. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, it's basically pretty simple. You're gonna use a lot of these and you're gonna use a lot of that in order to put this here and mark your octaves. So let's try to mark it an octave above. Let's do that right now. So I'm just gonna slowly move, and as you can see, just looking at the tuner, you're gonna see how flimsy the speed knob is. It's very, very delicate. And now we have a C right there. I'm using the Logic tuner, I'm not using this one, but this one is telling me the same story. Or no, this is the original one, because this one doesn't work that right. So of course I'm using something that I can trust a bit better. So I'm gonna basically cut another piece of sticky tape, another triangle to put my mark on. So I'll take that, and I'm just gonna use it somewhere here. And this is very flimsy. It's you know, it's kind of shit, to be honest. It's a bit tiring and a bit tedious to do, but at the end of the day, if you need something like this, it's quite alright. So I'm just gonna move it with my pliers just a bit, and hopefully it's gonna stay there. Okay, so this is gonna be my C note. It might look a bit off from this point of view, from the camera, but you know, coming from this point of view, it gives me a rough estimation where that octave is supposed to be. Now let's move it back to the original position, and I'm just moving it. So roughly I know, because it's somewhere on this mark, and I'm just gonna leave the thing so it's on this mark. I have it there. I'm looking at the tuner and I see, again, I'm on the note C. It's going okay. So the next thing to do is basically move the position of the speed knob counterclockwise. So in order to get the heavier octaves, the lower octaves that we so desperately need in order to half speed it. So let's do that now. Slowly, I'm gonna move this knob. There we go, just down, down, down. And looking at the tuner, I think we're getting there. I think it's fine. I think we're, there we go. Somewhere around there, you know, it's not gonna be perfect either way, but I'm gonna use another little triangle right here from the sticky note. There we go, there we go, I have it here. And I'm gonna use it as another mark for the tuning knob, or the speed knob, as we have it here. And this is not gonna be perfect, it's very tedious. It's not the most amazing stuff, but I do have it somewhere here from this position. It looks fine. It's roughly giving me the idea where the slower octave is. And now let's just try to do another one. So an octave below this one, so we'll have double octaves down. Moving again the speed knob, we can hear it. And somewhere around there. That's about 10 cents off, but you know, because the speed knob is so flimsy, it's not the perfect thing. It's never gonna be perfect, and I think that's a feature of the Cocoquantus. It's not supposed to be this way. Even doing this marks, I think Peter is devilishly laughing at me. Why am I doing this? Why am I being such a knob doing this stuff? But you know, whatever, dude. I do my own music, I do my own thing. I need my tuning marks to be here. So I'm gonna take another mark and I'm gonna put it somewhere around here, maybe. There we go. And there we go. We have it in a bit. So of course, in theory, you can move this down here like I did here, but you know, it is something, whatever you guys prefer, whatever you guys see fit. In theory, you could do it fifths. In theory, you could do whatever ratio or interval you want from your original sample. So let's try to test this, and this can go wrong pretty quick. So let's just move the sound down. Move the sound down. I'm gonna try to kill the buffers. There we go. We're fine. We have nothing now. We're basically in silence. Okay, so I'm gonna try a thing. I'm gonna use something that's a bit more easy on the ears, I'd say. So I'm just gonna use like a little piano sample I have here. Okay, whatever. It sounds okay, I guess. I'm gonna move it to the first position, somewhere here. Hopefully it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna use like a basic A minor triad chord, whatever. Oh wow, I was great with this. Now, looking at the tuner right here, we can see it's moving somewhere in A, C, D, somewhere, basically giving me the notes that I just played here. So let's try to see where this goes. If I now, in theory, if I move this to the mark, and I might be off here by a few centimeters because the speed knob is extremely delicate, but let me try to see what's gonna happen. So I'm just moving. And I think we're fine. I think we got a octave below. And of course, in theory, if you move this down even more to the next marker, we got double octaves down. I'm not sure. I think I'm off by a few cents here, so it's, but not by a lot. And this is the main thing. You're never gonna be 100% on the whole thing, but it's great if you want a rough estimation where these octaves are, and if you want to quickly double speed it, or if you want to quickly half speed it, you can do so by doing this, and then use your ears just to fine-tune it in between. But again, this is something that might help you quite a lot. So yeah, there you go. This is Coco. The Coco has been marked and is ready for a nice little adventure, you know, in whatever adventure needs half speed and double speed. So yeah, you can use that as much as you want. Anyway guys, if you know a better method than this, something that's not as tedious, please let me know by commenting below. Also, I know marking it with adhesive sticky notes is not the perfect option, especially because it still might, you know, give some sticky stuff on the wood, which of course you don't want. You don't want to have this on your expensive CL gear. But I don't know a better method, so if you have one, if you have something that's gonna work a bit better, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Please join me next time. And if you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe because it's free and it helps the channel out quite a bit. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, morning, or afternoon, whenever you might be watching. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. So take care.